Welcome, dear friend. As you prepare to rest tonight, know that you are not alone. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let your heart be still. This is not just a story, it's a journey, a gentle night on the Sea of Galilee, with the one who brings peace in every storm, Jesus. Let's drift into the night together. The stars were quietly glowing above the waters of Galilee. The gentle sound of waves brushing against the side of the wooden boat echoed in the stillness of the night. Jesus had spent the entire day teaching the crowds, healing, comforting, feeding souls. Now, under the darkening sky, he and his disciples boarded a small boat to cross to the other side of the lake. The boat creaked softly as it moved away from the shore. The disciples whispered among themselves, some tired, some thoughtful, but Jesus. He was quiet. His eyes, soft with peace, looked out across the water. And then, without a word, he walked toward the back of the boat, found a cushion, and lay down. Within moments, he was asleep. His breathing was calm. The moonlight kissed his face. A divine peace seemed to hover over him, even as the water beneath rocked gently. The disciples, watching him, felt a strange comfort. If the teacher could sleep, surely all was well. Minutes passed, then clouds began to gather, winds started to whisper, then sing, and soon howl. Waves rose and slapped against the sides of the boat. The peace of the night was broken by nature's fury. The disciples, though experienced fishermen, felt the fear rise in their chests. Buckets of water filled the boat. Thunder rolled across the sky. Lightning danced across the water. The storm had arrived. But Jesus still slept. Peter grabbed the mast. John clung to the side. Thomas shouted over the roar, "We're going to sink." And yet, there, in the back, Jesus lay asleep, as if wrapped in a heavenly lullaby. At last they cried out, "Teacher, don't you care that we're perishing?" Jesus stirred. He opened his eyes. He rose slowly, calmly, peacefully, not like a man jolted awake, but like one already in control. He stood tall in the rocking boat, rain soaking his robe, wind whipping his hair. He lifted his hand, and he said, in a voice stronger than the storm itself, "Peace. Be still." Suddenly, the wind stopped. The waves calmed. The thunder hushed. The storm obeyed the voice of its creator. A divine silence fell across the sea. Jesus turned to his disciples and gently asked, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were silent, not because they had no answer, but because they had just witnessed something eternal. The one who slept through the storm was the one who ruled over it. The boat floated calmly now, as if resting on glass. The air was fresh, the clouds drifted away, the stars returned, and the disciples sat, still and wide-eyed, not in fear but in awe. Jesus returned to his place, lay his head back on the cushion, and closed his eyes once more. The peace in his presence returned stronger than before. No more fear, no more panic, only stillness and trust. One by one, the disciples leaned back, their shoulders no longer tense, their eyes beginning to close, their hearts finally quiet. In the safety of that small boat, with the gentle rocking of the sea, and Jesus beside them, they drifted off to sleep. The night passed peacefully, and though no one remembered exactly when they fell asleep, each heart knew one truth. If Jesus is with you in the boat, you have nothing to fear. Outro tone, soft and soothing. As you rest tonight, remember this. Your storm may rage, but the one who commands the winds and the waves is with you. So close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let Jesus whisper to your heart, "Peace. Be still. Good night, beloved soul. You are safe. You are held. You are loved. The night deepened. The stars scattered across the sky like divine lanterns, gently watching over the sea and those who sailed upon it. The gentle rhythm of the waves continued, now more like the calm rocking of a cradle than the wild tossing from before. In the boat, the disciples settled back, each one reflecting quietly. Thomas leaned his head against the side of the boat, whispering a prayer of thanks. Matthew closed his eyes, soaking in the stillness. Even Peter, the one known for his bold heart, felt a softening inside him that he hadn't felt in years, the kind of peace that doesn't come from safety, but from trust. Jesus remained near them, quiet, calm, present. He moved closer to the center of the boat and sat beside James and John, who were barely keeping their eyes open. His gaze lifted to the sky, where the stars shimmered in silence. "Do you see them?" Jesus asked gently. "Each one placed by my Father. Not one is forgotten." The disciples nodded, sleepy but listening. "In the same way," Jesus said softly, "your lives are seen. Every breath, every thought. The Father knows it all. Just as he holds the stars in place, he holds you." These words drifted over them like a lullaby. The boat creaked softly as it rocked in the moonlit water. The cool breeze wrapped around them like a blanket. No one needed to speak now. There was no hurry, no fear, only rest. Jesus leaned back again, his head resting on a small folded cloak. The same peaceful expression returned to his face. His breathing slowed, deep and steady. The disciples, one by one, followed his lead. Andrew leaned into the side of the boat, his eyelids fluttering shut. Bartholomew laid back, hands folded on his chest. Even Peter, always alert, finally let his shoulders drop and allowed himself to drift. There was a sacred stillness now, not just around them, but within them. The sea whispered its hush. The stars watched from above, and Jesus, the Prince of Peace, slept beside his friends. In the dreams that came to the disciples, they saw glimpses of light, fields of wheat, children laughing, rivers flowing, the sound of doves in the trees. Dreams that calmed the heart, dreams that healed, because when you rest near Jesus, you don't just sleep, you are renewed. Hours passed, but time didn't matter. The night remained peaceful, untouched by the world's noise or worry. In that little boat, floating on the quiet sea, 12 men and their Lord experienced a moment of eternity, where heaven kissed the earth and hearts were fully at rest. And even now, as you listen, that same peace is reaching out to you. You are not alone in your storm. You are not forgotten in the night. Jesus is with you, calm, kind, close. Let his peace settle over your heart. Let his presence guide your breath. Let your thoughts slow and your soul rest. The boat on the sea is a picture of your life, sometimes quiet, sometimes stormy, but never beyond his care. Tonight you are safe. Tonight you are seen. Tonight you are deeply loved. Breathe in his peace and breathe out your worry. Let your eyes close now, just like the disciples did. Let your heart trust, just like the sea obeyed, and sleep, knowing he is with you, now and always. Good night. Peace be still. And so the hours of night drifted on. Time moved like the slow tides of the sea, patient, soft, unhurried. While the boat floated gently and the disciples slept, the wind carried ancient songs across the waves. Songs not made by human voice, but whispered by creation itself, the sea, the stars, and the Spirit of God. They told stories of promise, of a Messiah who calms storms, not only of wind and water, but of worry and fear. And Jesus, still beside his friends, remained watchful even as he rested. Though his eyes were closed, his spirit was never absent. He watched over them with love too deep for words. Somewhere in the early hours of dawn, Philip stirred. He opened his eyes slowly, unsure if he had dreamed or been awake the whole night. He looked at the peaceful face of Jesus and felt something stir in his heart, a warmth like sunlight before it breaks the horizon. He didn't need to speak. He simply watched and understood. This was what it meant to belong, to be known, protected, loved. A soft golden hue began to touch the edges of the sky. Morning was coming. One by one the others began to wake, not with panic, not with fear, but gently, like flowers opening to the light. No one rushed. No one moved too fast. They were still wrapped in the quiet awe of what had happened. Peter, always the first to act, looked out at the sea. "It's still," he said softly, more to himself than to anyone else. "Yes," whispered Jesus, now sitting upright again, "just as it is meant to be." John leaned against the edge of the boat, staring at the ripples of soft light reflecting on the water. "I've never felt peace like this before," he murmured. Jesus looked at them all, his eyes full of compassion. "That peace is not just for tonight," he said. "It is always with you, because I am with you." Silence fell again, not awkward but sacred. The disciples sat with him in stillness, watching the sky turn from dark blue to soft amber. The first birds began to sing from distant shores. The boat rocked gently. The sea was calm, and their hearts, oh, their hearts, were resting deeper than ever before. Then Jesus spoke once more, his voice soft as the morning wind. "There will be more storms," he said, "but do not be afraid, for I do not leave you when the waves rise. I go with you, always, through the storm, through the night, through every unknown moment. And when you forget," he continued, "remember this night, remember the stillness, remember my peace." Tears welled in a few eyes, not of sorrow, but gratitude. They had seen a miracle, not only outside them, in the calming of a storm, but inside them, in the quieting of their fears. That was the greater miracle. And so the morning arrived. The sun rose slow and steady, bathing the water and their faces in light. The disciples reached for the oars again, ready to return, not to escape the world, but to walk in it with a new kind of strength. As they rowed, Jesus remained near. His robe moved with the breeze. His steps were light upon the wooden boards of the boat, but his presence, his holy, loving presence, was stronger than ever. And as they moved forward, so do we, each of us, in our own boats, across our own seas, with fears, with storms, with nights that feel too long. But Jesus sleeps not because he doesn't care. He sleeps because he's not worried. He knows the end. He holds the waves. He calms the storms within us too. So now, as your body settles and your breathing slows, imagine yourself in that boat. Feel the water gently rocking you. Feel the cool breeze brushing your skin. See the soft light dancing on the sea. And know this, you are not alone. Jesus is beside you. Close your eyes now. Let go of your worries, your lists, your racing thoughts. Let your heart rest like the disciples did. Let the peace of Jesus cover you like a blanket. He is here, always.